Hi Julian, how was the ceremony today and what was it like receiving your honorary Doctorate of the Arts?
It was hot. No, it was great. It was nice, nice. I mean, you have a new university. You have to kind of, in a sense, invent tradition. And it seemed to me that that had been done rather effectively.
A lot of the graduates today will be wanting to succeed in these sort of creative industries like you have. I mean, you've succeeded in many of them. You've succeeded in writing, producing, acting. What does it take to survive in the industry today?
I think tenacity is probably the common denominator. I've known successful people who were very, very talented and very beautiful. And I've also known some who had hardly any talent and were as ugly as a rock. But the thing they have in common is not giving up. And they just stick at it. Of course, the downside of that is there are people who do stick at it and they never get anywhere. And there is a moment when you have to think, do I want to chance the rest of my life on this? Or is it now time to cut and run and go off and do something else? And, if there is something else you can do that might make you happy, then my advice is to do it. But, it's a great career if you can make it work for you. You do need luck, though. People talk about making your own luck, and I don't believe in it. You need luck. You've just got to have a couple of moments where you're the only guy, or he's ill, and it's you. And it's very difficult not to do it all without just having one or two lucky moments. And God knows I've had some.
When you wake up in the morning, do you think I'm going to do some writing today? I'm going to do some acting today. I mean, what do you think when?
I don't think you wake up and think you're going to do any acting. I don't think it works like that. Someone has to ask you to come and act. But I do write. I write all the time because I've got a lot on my plate. One of the disadvantages of having been an actor is that it's almost impossible to turn work down because you've had so many years when you were aching for something to do. And so I probably do accept too much. And, then you suddenly get a thing. With Downton, suddenly we're doing a second series. We've got to have 8 episodes. We need them now. And that, you've just got to get on with. The only advice I would give is if you want to be a writer, don't wait until you're in the mood. Because if you wait until you're in the mood, you'll be dead before you get anything finished. You just have to get on with it. You have to get up, go to your desk, and get on with it. And maybe everything you write that day will be hopeless and unusable, but you've got to do it. And eventually you'll get to the end.
So what sort of advice would you give our graduates today if they're going to make it in these industries?
You just have to keep plugging away. You have to remember that for every 75 letters you write, you may get 3 answers, of which only one might hold out even the promise of an interview, never mind a job. You have this hideous ratio in terms of the effort you put out and what comes back. But you just have to address that and face that. And eventually, if you're lucky, there comes a moment when they want you and you don't want to do their thing, and the tables have turned. But at the beginning, you just have to operate on the basis that you're the person that's going to make it happen. You may have an agent, you may, even if you're American, have a manager, you may have all these things, and they're all working for you. But you should still work for yourself because you're the one it matters to most. And, you just have to keep pegging away. I think the important thing if you want to be a scriptwriter or screenwriter is to get your stuff done. And whether you go to a film school, whether you go to fringe theatre, whether you mount productions yourself, no one can judge you until they see your stuff done. And that is what really makes the difference. And, it is really useful, even with student films and everything else, if they're working from your script, you've got something. It's like you're not a mad person anymore. There's something that exists. Otherwise, it's just as if you were saying, I want to see Father Christmas, and nobody takes you seriously. And I suppose that's the initial bit, is somehow presenting yourself as if it is a realistic thing that you might work in this industry.
And finally, what's the future for Julian Fellowes? You touched upon the tourist in your speech. What's the future for Julian?
I think I just keep banging on, I think that's it, really. I enjoy what I do, and there are other dimensions to my life, which I enjoy as well. I don't think one has to only do what one does for one's living, but if I can do more of same, then I consider myself pretty lucky.